Our secure messaging tool is, think of it as really a HIPAA compliant instant message chat between staff members or with patients and caregivers. We are a virtual care company based in St. Petersburg, Florida. Our platform allows staff members, patients, family, and community physicians outside of your organization as well, all to communicate virtually, really to improve the quality of care and patient experience. Our platform is device agnostic, so staff, patients, and family members can use any device they are comfortable with. And even though we will solely be focusing on secure messaging today, as you can see on the left-hand side of our platform, we offer a variety of communication modalities that targets your entire patient population. And the ability to coordinate in the same conversation with all these folks on the right-hand side is a big key differentiator for us. So let's go ahead. We're going to go over to the actual Synzi virtual care application. I'm going to be logged in as a field nurse up here, Dean Klein. And we're going to skip over a lot of the virtual care functionality for today, but focus really on the secure messaging on the staff to staff portion first. So think of communication with your colleagues within your organization. So within the staff directory, I have a couple different options within here to any members or staff members that I have access to. I could begin a virtual visit or a secure message directly. So let's go ahead. I could be out in the field directly sitting with a patient. I might need to securely message our group home director or medical director regarding a patient. So within the secure messaging portion of the platform, all of my messages are located on the left-hand side. And this is a historical list. So we display to all users their entire history of secure messages. And these could be with other staff members, they could be with patients, which we'll cover in a couple of minutes, and then as well as caregivers, so any family members or outside physicians. Okay, so a very common use case of ours for secure messaging staff to staff is wound care. Okay, so think of this as a non-urgent type of communication. Maybe I need to get into a chat type conversation with a colleague of mine. I have the ability directly within the application to snap a picture from my device if I'm on a tablet or a phone. Everything is date and time stamped as well too. So all your message history will be in chronological order. Okay. I also have the ability, if I do need to edit or crop the image before sending it to someone, I could do that directly within the message. And then if I ever need to download it and upload it into my EHR, I can do that directly from the message as well. I also have the ability to send PDF files, and you'll see this on the patient and caregiver side as well. So in this specific instance, I forgot the care plan that I needed to deliver to my patient today, and one of my colleagues was able to send me the PDF file directly through the secure message thread. We also have many shortcuts throughout the application. So if this conversation did turn urgent and we needed to hop on a video visit, I could do that directly within the secure message thread here and go right into a virtual visit with our group home director, where I could be sitting with the patient, pointing my phone or my tablet at the patient's wound for this specific example, and we can talk through it. And just by a click of a button, if I needed to add any additional colleagues, this could be turned into a group messaging thread. So I can absolutely pick from a group of users that are within my platform, or if I needed to pick an individual person, so let's just say Ed here, our registered nurse, I can go ahead and include all the previous messages. This is really helpful if I'm discussing a patient with my other staff member and they want to read the previous thread. Or if we're just going to start a brand new message thread, I can exclude all those previous messages. Another key feature of the platform on staff to staff communication is the ability to create a group or a distribution group. This is really helpful for team leaders, administrators, or just other staff members that, maybe they want to create a like group of a specific region or a location. So, I could just say North Region nurses team, I can go ahead and select all the members on my team and just hit save. So as you can see here, I'm directly in the message thread now. And if I hover over this directly here, I can see all the group members that are within here. And now we're in an encrypted conversation, going application to application, really helpful for any announcements in the beginning of the day, any sort of inclement weather, maybe any disaster preparedness. On the hospice side, on the bereavement side, we've seen this used as well too. If there's several team members working on a specific patient, being able to use different announcements within here. So let's talk a little bit about secure messaging and then bringing in a caregiver as well too. So if, as a clinician, if I wanted to go into a previous secure message conversation or start a new one with the patient, I am now in a secure message conversation with James Cook. As you could see here earlier, very similar to what you just saw earlier on the staff to staff side as well too. For this specific example, James Cook snapped a picture of his pulse ox device. I was asking to see his heart rate and oxygen levels. He snapped a picture directly from his device and shared it with me as well too. And as a staff member, I have the same functionality that you saw earlier on the staff side. I can add in another group member, another staff member if I need to as well. Really helpful on the wound care side, or even it's Sunday night, 10 o'clock. Maybe the patient wants a nurse or someone that's on call to take a look at something. Instead of hopping on a video call or sending a nurse out to the patient's home, they could simply just snap a picture, send it over directly, and be triaged appropriately. On the caregiver aspect, you have the ability to add as many caregivers as you like to a patient profile. And caregivers we use very broadly within Synzi. These can be family members, they could be outside community physicians, like I mentioned. You can attach as many as you need here to communicate with, but a very common use case of ours is maybe a patient that's not too tech savvy, or a family member that lives nearby, or even lives at the patient's home, and you can communicate directly with that family member or caregiver. And then within the platform, within Synzi, we added the ability to communicate with these folks the same exact way you would with the patient. So you can add a patient profile here, even if you never intend to ever communicate virtually with that patient. You might not be doing any text or email or video calls or secure messaging with them, but you can add a caregiver, and that family member, I can go right into a secure message as well directly from here. So for this specific example, Meredith Daly might be James Cook's daughter. I met with James today at his home, and I delivered a care plan to him, but his daughter also wanted a copy of that care plan just so she can stay in the loop. I can go ahead and send that care plan by PDF directly through the secure message thread. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to show you my mobile phone directly on the screen. This is our patient-facing application called Synzi Care Connect. I'm actually logged in as James Cook right now. So a couple things that I did want to highlight in here that pertains to secure messaging is care teams and then the messages area. So care teams directly is I can assign care teams to individual patients. These are pre-configured beforehand, and they can include individuals or a group of individuals. And what care teams do, it allows a patient or caregivers or their family members to initiate communication. Okay, so if I didn't have a care team assigned to this specific patient, they would not be able to initiate communication. They would need to wait for a secure message or a virtual visit to come in from someone at your organization. Care teams are extremely helpful with high-risk patients that you want to make available, maybe a group of virtual nurses or maybe their individual nurse. And then depending upon who's logged into the platform, they can either quickly begin a virtual visit with the phone icon, or they can go directly into a secure message where I was mentioning, maybe it's Sunday night, 10 o'clock. They could snap a picture of their device. How does this look? Tell me if you need anything directly from here. But this is our same secure messaging that you just saw earlier. I was logged in on my browser earlier. This is my iPhone. Really, only main difference from here from a mobile device or a tablet is I have the ability to snap a picture directly from the device. If I'm on a browser on a laptop or a desktop, obviously you cannot snap a picture directly from there unless it was the front camera. You can just upload a photo. This gives you all three options.